all. As soon as one problem happens or whatever, like all the cash flow for the entire year is gone. So one way that we balance short-term cash flow with long-term wealth building is that we ensure that on every refinance that we do, that we're not pulling out too much cash where our cash flow is less than $300 per door. So we never want to be having less than $300 per door, even though sometimes it might be, tempting to do so. We might have an appraisal that is, blown out of the water, that's way higher than what we thought it could have been. And then, on the refinance, we have this opportunity to pull out, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 of cash. And sometimes it's tempting to do that, but if you pull out the $60,000 in cash and your total loan amount is higher than what it takes in order to cash flow at least $300, then you're diminishing your cash flow and you're getting a short-term gain, that $60,000 cash out, for example, and then sacrificing your long-term cash flow. So, now if you take that $60,000, just as an example, now let's say you're only cash flowing $50 on that door. Well, that's no cash flow at all. As soon as one problem happens or whatever, like all the cash flow for the entire year is gone. So now you have zero cash flow. So now the only thing you're depending on is, inflation. That's, is being able to raise the rent year over year to force cash flow back in the deal. Which, to get from $50 to $300 to make up that deficit that you lost, it's probably going to take 4 years of rent increases to get that spread back into your cash flow.